Mike was muted that entire time. Dang it. Professional streamer, by the way. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Please seeing you around. Every day's going well. Hello, 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 Crimson. Welcome to the stream. Today, we're going to be reacting to... I just said this, but I gotta say it again because the mic was muted. Today, we'll be reacting to the World of Warcraft Midnight Deep Dive. Going over the information for the next expansion, World of Warcraft Guess Hit Midnight. Their Gamescom announcement of Midnight, well, let's just say left a bit to be desired. So, we're not only having the deep dive today, but we're also having a developer Q&A. So we'll see if my questions that I submitted get selected, yeah? We'll see if I get put on the chopping block. Hello, 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 Crimson and Kana. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good day. Pleasure seeing you around. Every day's going well. Is my headset even on? The audio's all good now, right? I don't think there's any, like, background music. We just kind of have this, like, countdown. So, you know what that means, right? Like, everyone understands what that means. What it calls for. What is required. I need it. I got to have it. Alright, we have like a couple of minutes. Can I gracefully do this? Like a gazelle. Well, we went backwards, so... Wait. What are you expecting out of this? More information about the expansion overall. Hopefully some clarification and more reasons to be hyped about the actual expansion and the story itself. I really care about tone and atmosphere and rule of cool when it comes to what steps does WoW need to do to improve the story from here on. They've gotten better at actually telling and conveying a story in the game. They used to be, like, awful at this. Now they're, like, somewhat competent, which is actually kind of crazy to think about when you think about it. Oh, what the? Dude, I had some motion there, yeah? I had some motion. Oh? Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay, that didn't end particularly well. We have 2.5 minutes. Can we do this? We are pulling off the gnarliest split. Oh, dude, what the? Keep going forward, onwards, and upwards. Believe in the dream that believes in you, believing in me. That's how I like to run as well. Just shove one of my legs right out forward. If I run into anyone, it's their issue. You know, boot right up the ace. Keep going. I love running on my tiptoes as well. Actually gives you more form factor. It's aerodynamic. Dude, I used to be able to, like, actually walk in this game. I forget the exact button inputs you need to do for that, though. I think it's like WO then QP. But like the timing is extremely tight. Otherwise you do that. Come on, baby. Inch it forward. We can do it. Big inch it. No, dude. Come on. Inch it forward, baby. One more time. No! Imagine walking IRL was like this. No one would get anything done. Like, there would be no buildings constructed at all, in any capacity. Alright. I think it's enough co-op. We have 63 seconds. 2 at this point. 1 at this point. Now it's just 60. Let's see if they can actually build hype for this expansion. Because I think it's looking really good. It's just, with the Gamescom announcement, when they first announced and revealed Midnight, it was so disorganized. And also just wrong in a few regards. That it wasn't easy to consume. So I don't feel as if they did the best of jobs, and that's putting it lightly, when it comes to actually selling the expansion for people. Show me the money, the mustard. I want to see gameplay. I want to see the new design for the Delves. They talked about it. I want to see it. I want to see that 40v40 battleground. I want to see more of that. Show me design. Show me class changes. Give me a reason to be over the moon when it comes to this expansion. Do it for me. Show me the storytelling can get drastically better and more interesting and cool. That isn't just insert Disney shit here. And away we go.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, thank God they
We're
got
at
Chris
the
on it.
end of The War Within, the first dramatic chapter of the World Soul.
One of the most hype people in the
We've seen
industry.
the adventure take us into the depths of the world, and even to worlds cast out. Into
You
the
can
great
tell
dark
he's good
beyond.
because he's bald.
We've seen our villain Xalatath running around and
Stayed for
amassing
co-op
untold
mode.
power. We've seen her siphon the energies of Dalaran.
Tell me if that audio
and even
balancing is
those
good.
of the
Wow.
black blood
Okay, I don't know if we
beneath
need German.
Ashgahet. And recently, Xalatath assumed the power of the last Void Lord, Demencius. So the question remains, what will she do with all that power? And what are her
I'm gonna need that
intentions
Lorthama post up there, by the way.
to our precious World Soul? So now, as midnight
Just slide that to me, you know?
descends, and the second, darker chapter of our trilogy begins.
Darker
Xalatath
chapter, I like
has
the sound of that.
returned to Azeroth, leading an army known as the Devouring Host,
Okay.
intent on snuffing out the light of the Sunwell and plunging the world into darkness.
Good audio,
You-
thank you.
The heroes of Azeroth will be set on a collision course with Xalatath to save not only Azeroth itself, but everything that is.
Yeah, I've been down this road before, Chris. I got it locked in. Whoa! New trailer? Dude, Silvermoon looks so good. Blow me away. Blow me away to Margaritaville.
As we kick off our Midnight Alpha, we'd like to give you all a deep dive into what's
Oh,
in
right,
store.
the alpha
We wanna
goes live
recap
tomorrow.
Everything we've shared so far.
Yeah, you guys wanna
along
slide
with
me
some
into
brand
it?
new details. Today we're going to talk about the story of Midnight, as well as the zones, dungeons, delves, and raids that await. if you
Exactly
want to
what I
save
told
our
them I
world
wanted
from
to say.
Xalatath. We're also going to talk about some big new features coming in Midnight, like Prey and the Devourer Demon Hunter specialization. And of course, let's not forget housing. Thank you so much for joining us today. And as always, thank you for being a part of this amazing community, for choosing to spend your time in Azeroth and with each other. Now, without
Aw.
further ado, let's see what's in store for our home away from home.
You know, Ian, I like that
After all,
jacket.
it's nearly midnight.
The void storm rages in the sky, a surging vortex of shadow.
The hell is this?
Xalatath has returned. Wielding the dark heart, she carves a path of destruction.
It's the
through once
cinematic for
trampled
Midnight, but the
land.
voiceover is completely
Her
different.
all-consuming goal: devour the heavens, blot out all light, and bring about her midnight. It is in the shadow of this swirling storm
Name
that the
drop.
defenders of Azeroth must rally once more. For peace, for the light, for the good. This is not a battle. It is a reckoning. At the Sunwell, that eternal bastion of light and hope, Lady Liadrin and Lorthemar Theron lead the blood.
Whoever
elves
they
as
have doing
prepare
this
to make
voiceover,
their
keep
final
'em.
stand. Because across all worlds and all stories, one thing never changes.
I need this narration in
Home
game.
is worth fighting for. Welcome to World of Warcraft Midnight.
Okay, whoever they got doing this voiceover, keep for every future trailer
Your
for the
story
love of
begins
God.
on the Isle of Quel'Danas. In the immediate aftermath
God, it's
of
so pretty.
Xalatath's invasion, the Sunwell surges with light, calling out to all heroes of Azeroth for aid, while the vile creatures of the Void wage a relentless assault in the hopes of extinguishing it once and
God,
for
I hope
all.
there's actual tension
Flying
with that
monstrosities
scene.
attack from darkened skies, and malign foes manifest without warning to wreak havoc across the plateau.
Alright, boys, where we dropping?
Stand true with the champions of Azeroth as they mount a desperate defense against this invasion. For if the Sunwell falls, so too does the world.
They have to keep this narrator. Oh my God, I need
The
them in
defense
game
of the
too.
Sunwell leads you directly into Silver Moon City. But not the one you know. The
God,
renewed
Silver Moon
light
looks
of the
so
sunworld
freaking good.
symbolizes Silver Moon's revitalization, shining over a city fully restored to a thrumming, living capital.
Shut up the way he
Familiar
said thrumming.
landmarks gleam with fresh polish, while new areas like the Sanctum of Light and the Garden of Remembrance offer countless nooks and stories to explore.
God, it looks so pretty.
Inside the city walls, the threat of Xalatath's war draws the Alliance and Horde into wary cooperation, with shared spaces hosting common services like trainers, the auction house, vendors, and more.
I love those
Around
banners
a
with
third
the
of
Horde
city
symbol on them.
remains off limits to those under the Lion's banner, so the Alliance Allegiant should tread lightly or risk being attacked on sight.
Good. F him, dude.
Outside the city walls, however, is where your role in the fight against the Void really begins to
What a
take shape.
skybox that is.
The strength of the Sunwell
Good old
infuses
Eversong.
Eversong Woods with restorative energy, healing much of the damage of wars past and filling the zone with new growth and new life.
This
All of what
VO
you
is
remember
so
of this
good, I
lush,
can't get
thriving
over him.
forest is here. But Eversong is also a reimagined landscape of increased scale and greater
I love how
beauty.
there's a lot of
Most
similarities to the old
Ghostlands
Eversong as
and
well.
Eversong Woods are now joined into one large
As someone who's
zone,
leveled many a
which
Blood
is
Elf, there's a
itself
lot of these
joined to the Eastern
locations I
Kingdoms.
recognize.
Eversong's flourishing fluorescence is not without complication.
Oh, I like that
While
owl.
the Sunwell's light is a boon to the environment, its surging power causes pockets of light bloom, small groves of light-enriched growth, to experience surges of their own. The
Okay,
light bloom's
interesting.
rampant propagation, if left unchecked, threatens to smother all life under an overgrown tangle.
Seems
Your
interesting, I
adventures
like
through
it.
Eversong will have you investigating the light bloom, dealing with the aftermath of a Hawkstrider chick gone wild,
Gonna need that as a
helping
minion.
a suspicious apothecary
This is doing
with
something good for
questionable
once, I
motives,
know. Haley's
untangling
comet
the
ass.
secrets of two feuding nobles, and even getting caught up in a sinister murder plot.
Yeah, that
alongside
set's gonna need to be
Magister
transmog.
Umbric as he works to crack the secrets of the Void.
Just like slide
It
that
is
in my
up to you
inventory
how
yesterday.
your story progresses beyond Eversong Woods, with 3 available paths you can tackle in any order. Brave the ancient troll kingdom of Zulaman. Investigate the now
Zulaman
hidden
looked
roots
so
of
good
Harandar,
there.
or accompany
They've gotten
Arathor on
so
his
much
journey
better
to
at lighting.
understand the light, the void, and himself. Zulaman finds the Armani Troll Empire at one of its lowest points. The homeland of warlord Zul'jin.
Yeah, because we farmed this
Zulaman
place
was
like
once
4
a place
different
where
times over the
Loa
course of the
bestowed
game.
to the Armani their godly strength, and were
Holy
devoutly
six-pack.
revered in kind. The temples still stand, weathered but proud. The eagle, the lynx, the dragonhawk, and the bear. Ascend windswept
Meow.
sky-scraping peaks, explore ruins shrouded in fog.
Their use of
traverse
color,
stormy wilds
my
teeming
god,
with
Blizzard's
vicious
art direction
beasts,
team
and accompany
has been
Zul'jara,
on a roll.
granddaughter of Zul'jin, and the pragmatic pillar of strength now leading
God, her
the
armor set
Armani,
was sick
as
as well.
She seeks a means to save her people from void-aligned
Okay, that's
cultists
just a
and the
reskinned
monsters
ogre.
they
Actually, I think he's
revere.
just an ogre.
The Armani are invaluable allies in the defense against Xalatath's
These guys are definitely
invading
becoming
force.
allied
If
races.
you help
Not a
them
doubt in my
fight for
mind.
their home, they will help you fight for yours. At the confluence of the
I
world's
really
trees
kinda hope they
roots
don't
lies an
become alliance,
impossible
though.
primordial jungle known as Harandar. It is here that Azeroth's entire history wraps, twists, and braids, a literal entanglement of all that has been.
Again, a zone that feels
and
very
all
much
that
like
will
from
be.
TBC. Like, this is
Harandar
straight up
is a land of
Zangamosh.
magical, powerful growth. Fungal
Zangamosh
towers,
mixed with, like,
glowing
Avatar.
moss bridges,
Their
and
use of
entire
color and
villages
lighting
sprout
has
from
gotten so
Harandar's
much
wild,
better over the last few
organic
expansions.
fabrics.
It's crazy.
The pulsing heart of this knotted tangle is the cradle, once the domain of a nascent
We need to get like a
goddess,
documentary
long
at one
vanished,
point
and now
where
the
they just
home of the
detail how
Harandar,
they've improved the
who have for
engine so
generations
much.
lived secretly under its soothing light.
Because, like, my
the
god.
reclusive Haranir are a proud and insular people. They have long avoided interfering in matters of the world above. But Xalatath's destructive ambition does not stop at the surface, and the Haranir can no longer afford the luxury of neutrality. There is another way you can help with the defense of Azeroth against Zalatath's cruel machinations.
God, I hope they get this VO to
Accompany
do, like, the
Eretor,
new
son of
intro
Thralian
scene
and Illyria
when you make a new
on a
character.
continent-spanning journey in the hopes of bolstering the Sunwell and strengthening the vanguard of the light.
I like this idea
This
because
story-driven
it takes
adventure
us back to
finds
the
you
old world
traveling
again.
with Eretor as he searches for sacred relics and attempts to peel back the mysteries of the void.
We haven't had
All
much
while
with Eretor in
grappling
a
with
while.
His own relationships to his family and the light.
You know, his transmog set's
Eretor's
pretty
mission
nice.
brings new experiences to familiar locations. Defend Light's Hope Chapel from an attack by Scourge forces. Fight through the darkened corridors of Scarlet Monastery to put to rest those who would pervert the light for
Okay.
their own nefarious gain. And
So going
work
back to,
with
like, previous
Sunwalker
dungeons
Disco
as well?
in Hammerfall to help Eretor in discovering the paladin he aspires to become. Eretor's story reaches its climax in the shadow of Blackrock Mountain, where alongside the Sons of Lothar, he must face the weight of his father's legacy and decide once and for all whether he is willing to rise to meet it.
God, if they actually nail this, this could be so good.
The raging center of an unraveling shadowy maelstrom, and the epicenter of Zalatath's
I love the
power,
fact they're using the old world for
Voidstorm
story again.
overflows with
They've always done it a
violence,
little bit, but, like,
chaos,
way
and
more
hostility.
emphasized here.
Stormfields twist and fold its space. Gravity becomes untethered.
My main
and
question
tethers
for
again.
this zone would be, how do you
Insatiable
differentiate it
void
enough
creatures
from
known
Koresh
as
that we just
Dominar
had?
stalk the storm.
Visually, it has a
Each
similar
one as
color
unique
palette, but it
and
does
ancient
seem...
as it is hateful and hungry.
The aesthetics and
They
the
carry on their
actual
eternal
structure
hunt for
of
power
the zone
under the
are
black gaze
fundamentally
of three
different, and I do
enormous
appreciate
nexus
that.
points.
It looks
Hubs
very
of the
interesting.
malicious dark energy Zalatath draws upon to
Again, the
fuel her
skyboxes
void
are so
spark
good,
and
too.
conduct her unyielding assault against the Sunwell. Join Azeroth's champions and the Void
Oh,
Elves.
they're
in
bringing
their
back
quest
that
to
Dreadlord, okay.
understand what powers this storm and stave off its approach. Though much of the world of Midnight lies in the ominous shade of the encroaching void, there is at least one refuge for the weary.
This really
The
does feel as if
Argentina.
it's, like, picking up
What
after the
began as a
story of,
hidden
like...
sanctuary is now a not-so-secret tavern haven
For what?
Horde and Alliance alike. A big, cozy space filled by music, chatter, and life.
Is this location based on the tavern from the
If void is
15th
bleak
anniversary
and the
video?
cold, the Argentina is its opposite. A warm spark in the heart of every patron. It is a place to gather with friends, find the perfect comfy sitting room, or just soak in the atmosphere of a well-traveled watering hole. As a crossway for people of all kinds, the Argentina also serves as a source of new adventures. Familiar faces stop by here and there.
Dude,
spinning
Gammon!
stories and offering quests that send you far across Azeroth
I'm
in
starting
search
to
of relics of the past. Follow the course they set for you to discover a fresh perspective on familiar locations. Zalatath is determined in her destiny, an unrelenting foe with an army that never sleeps. But you can't live every
They gotta
moment
ditch
in
that
grim
wheelchair.
resistance. The Argentina is always here. Should you find
looks
yourself
so
in need
goofy.
of a little respite.
This really does feel
Boasters
like
of the
Chris Metzler
origins
coming
of
back
the
into the
void
story
and the
properly.
knowledge
This
and
feels like a
power to
direct
stop it
follow-up to
are not
Legion.
to be found only on the surface. For true deliverance, as always, hides in snarled labyrinths, looming temples, deadly ruins. These delves, dungeons, and raids are the real font of power. The sacred and defiled spaces from which strength is not just earned.
Oh god,
but
that
taken.
giant cave? With a giant bear
Across
statue in the
this
back as
void,
well?
darkened world,
Alright, show me the new delves.
overflowing with incalculable danger. Located on the Isle of Quel'Danas, Parhelion Plaza is an outdoor delve that drops you into the heart of
Okay.
the defense of the Sunwell. Fight against the surge of the Void's attack.
We actually
by
see what
restoring
Valyria does.
Parhelion's defenses. Commanding an artillery of
I'm glad they didn't give it like a
ducking
new
into pocket
model. I think the
dimensions
old model
and
was
putting
fine.
down Gladius Slaughter, a Dominar who uses summoned Voidwalkers as weapons against your stand.
I like the idea of
Expect to
integrating
plunge
the delves
depths of
more
9
into the
other
story this
delves
go around.
and one seasonal nemesis delve when Midnight launches. You do not have to face these delves alone.
And having some outdoor delves
Valyria
allows for mounting.
Sanguinar is a
Alright, here we
powerful
go.
new
Please
companion
be more
with a
competent than
worldwide
Bran.
approach to problem solving.
That's not a high
As
bar.
DPS, Her killing spree ability has her moving through the shadows to lash out.
So she's a rogue. Yeah, kind of figured.
As a healer, she uses vampiric reaping to rip away the life force of enemies into orbs you can collect to
Oh,
heal.
we're still doing this
And
kind of
as a
healing.
tank,
Alright. At
she
least it's more
uses your
visible than the
first
potions
mistake
Bran would throw
to
out.
taunt and do damage over time to any enemy that turns their back on her. to attack
Where's my
her
rogue
allies.
tank?
Valera is also a prolific provider of poisons that, depending on her role, empower you with more damage, better avoidance, increased speed, and more.
Okay, so, kill enemies within them. Got it.
Your adventures in Midnight eventually
I like that
lead
her
you down
mechanics are
darker
far more
paths,
visually clear,
paths
unlike
that end
Bran.
in overgrown corridors and ruin-stricken relics, forgotten places of powers best left unstirred. Yet these dungeons promise plunder.
I like
worthy
that
of the
axe.
battle, should you have the courage to overcome the challenges.
I like that
within.
axe a lot.
Windrunner Spire, the former residence of the Windrunner family, haunts the skyline of Eversong Wood's western shore. The strained relationship of its namesake sisters, Varisa, Sylvanas, and Ilaria, imbues its halls with a sullen, spiteful energy. The restless spirits bound to this animosity threaten all who draw near.
I like that orc in the bottom
Among
left.
these spirits walks the Windrunner's sole brother, Lirith, who needs your help in quelling this restlessness.
Dude, I forgot they
and
had a
clearing
brother.
his once great home of hate. Serenity, however, is not so easily claimed. There are other forces that seek dominion over this domain. Emberdawn, a fire-colored dragonhawk, claims the dilapidated gardens of the Spire as a nest for her young. She is fiercely territorial, answering intruders with both
I like the
talon
Dragonhawk
and
model.
flame. The derelict duo comprised of the Banshee Callis and her loyal
Ooh,
abomination
that
Black
abomination's
lead a
mouth,
band of
though?
fanatical undead in a
Oh, its
hunt for
weapon looks
relics
sick as
tied to
well.
Sylvanas.
Cooked.
They meet outside interference with a mix of shadowy magic and brute strength. Commander Krolok, a merciless orc who oversaw countless conquests during the Second War that
Hell
took
yeah!
Lilith Windrunner's life,
Zug
stalks
zug!
the Spire with an insatiable bloodlust.
Hell
Since
yeah.
being slain in vengeance by
He's not a
Ilaria,
shaman, though?
Krolok knows
That
only
spider
torment
model is
and
crazy.
the desire to pass it on.
Shout out to the feral
restless
druid.
heart, a concentrated whirlwind of grief and suffering born from the conflict of the Windrunner sisters.
Yeah, that
envelops
bow
all
model, I'm
remain
gonna need it.
turbulent
Just, like,
turmoil.
slide that over.
This swirling specter takes the form of a ranger, combining the power of the wind with volleys of arrows to cut down the uninvited. Windrunner
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be
Spire
one of the
was, at one
Windrunner
point,
sisters.
a living
Beyond a
embodiment
shadow of a
family
doubt. But
and
again,
of
I'm gonna need
legacy.
that bow
With the
model.
help of Lirith and your allies, you can make it so once more. 7 more
I'll need to make a
dungeons
hunter
await
just
you
for
in
that.
Midnight, each one crawling with the Cutthroat and the Craven.
I doubt that thing did the
Magister's
Mage Tower.
Terrace and Murder Row in Eversong Woods. The Den of Nalorak and Mysara Caverns in Zolaman.
I like how visually
Blinding Veil
diverse
in
all of these
Harrenhal.
dungeons are.
And the Voidscar Arena and Nexus Point Zenith in Voidstorm.
This is
The
so
most
much
tyrannical
more
antagonists
well
of
put
Azeroth
together than
work their dark deeds from
Gamescom.
within
It's insane.
Midnight's 3 new raids. The Void
This
Spire,
might be the
where
best
6
trailer they've
bosses
put
have
out
fought
in,
over
like,
the heart
years.
of the Void and mustered against the
Oh, that
amassing
model,
vanguard
though?
of the light as it readies to storm the walls of Xalatath's stronghold. The Dream Rift, where you must join in the hunt for an undreamt god that never should have been, and put down half-birthed abominations that
It goes to
lash out
show
against
just how much a
existence
good
itself.
VO narration can do for
And the
you.
march on Quell Danas. An
I love
encounter
the fact
still
we're getting
shrouded
3
by the
raids.
fog of war beyond the known presence
I like
of
that they're
Beleren,
smaller, that'd be
the
better for, like,
void-corrupted
pugging. I
phoenix,
also
who stakes
like
a
the fact we're just getting
ceaseless
more
watch over
aesthetics
the
with it.
entrance to the chambers beyond. The void threatens
The
to
bird
end
ripped
all
ass
of
was just trying to
Azeroth,
blow it away.
to
It was
rend
smelling
the
too
world
bad.
in the squall of a black tempest. But the extraordinary power it carries does provide opportunities to those heroes willing to embrace it. Devoured demon hunters bend the void to their will, ripping void fragments from their enemies and using them as the power source for cataclysmic spells.
Okay.
They are mid-range
Like
damage
a
dealers, armed with a
ranged
summonable void scythe, darting
DPS
in and out
version of
the
Vengeance
fray
in a way.
as they dance on the line between control and chaos.
I like the
Void
eye
Blade
beam.
and Hungering Slash work in concert. Dash into melee range to deliver a series of crushing
The
broadside
animations are
attacks,
pretty.
Then use Vengeful Retreat to escape the enemy's reprisal.
Yeah, thanks,
You
Demon
can
Hunter
also start
101.
this combo off with a Void Charged the Hunt. Metamorphosis transforms you into a familiar
I like
state
the
of
fact that
cursed
changing
power.
all the
The more
animations
you
to be
feed
void
it,
themed if you
the
go
longer
Devour,
it
and it's an
lasts.
element that I
Ride
kind
the
of hope
wave of annihilation by
finds its
tearing
way
apart
to other
souls
specs
and
as well.
Staying alive. Reap is a sweeping scythe attack that consumes all of your soul fragments for one massive burst of damage. Use Void Ray to cut through enemies in a straight line
Cool.
and leave them smoldering.
Reminds me of Frostlight.
Collapsing Star channels the immense energy of a dying star, focusing it into one single destructive blast. The more you cast it during your Void Metamorphosis, the stronger it gets.
Okay, I was
Demon
hoping that the
hunters also
animation
find
wouldn't
themselves
impact
with
it was
new
better. It
disciples
got
in
better
Midnight.
there. I guess it's a charge
Void
system.
elves are sharpening their war glaives and joining the hunt.
Okay. Now for the Harandar.
Newly awakened to the dire threat of midnight, the Haranir join the
Haranir.
fight for the surface as the
Oh, is
next
that the-
terrible allied race. Haranir
kinda like
are
the other
deeply
set better.
entwined with the organic world. Theirs is a culture shaped not by cities.
Yeah, this
or
looks
by
really damn
conquest,
good.
but by the roots, the stones, the quiet pulse of the deepest breath of the world. Their armor, their weapons, their skin, all are infused with the inner light of organic power.
I
Even the
like the
mightiest
fact you
primordial
can change
predator
how
in
furry
Haradar
they are.
knows
I
to
wouldn't
fear
want
the
any, so
telltale
that was my main
luminescence
concern
of
with actually
Haranir's
playing one of them.
markings in the
They're
dense
basically just
jungle
night
brush.
elves, from the look of
They
them.
are primal, ferocious hunters, a force of
Oh, are
nature
those their
unto
druid
themselves,
forms?
who possess
The pangolin
racial
looks pretty
ability
sick.
to travel
I think I
along the
prefer
roots of the
bears, but,
world,
like, it
from
still looks
Haradar
unique.
to any world
I
tree,
like their travel
or
form.
from anywhere back
Unless that
to
was their
Haradar.
feral form, which I don't think it
Haranir
was.
are versatile warriors who can choose from a wide range of paths, including those of the warrior, hunter, rogue, priest, shaman, mage, warlock.
How many
monk,
armor sets
and
did they
druid,
get? Jesus.
the last of which has all new forms that reflect the Haranir's
Ooh.
unique connection to
That
those hidden
balance
parts
form,
of
though?
the earth.
Oh, I like their feral form.
Prey is a secret opt-in initiative.
Aye,
run
please
out of
don't make
Silvermoon
this
City
slog.
by Astalor
Please let
Bloodsworn,
Prey
a
actually
blood
have
elf
depth
with
to
what
it.
some might call
I
a
need these fights to
colorful
last longer than like
past.
20 seconds.
Astalor is after one thing: anguish. A
Hell
powerful
yeah.
magic siphoned from Azeroth's deadliest threats. And he's offering generous compensation to heroes who are courageous or foolhardy enough to go chase it. Astalor's lair in Murder
sad
Row
torrent
is your base
picture.
of operations for Prey. The place
I
where
like
you
the
pick your
idea of adding a
targets,
new
track
system
your
for the
progress,
overworld.
and collect your rewards, including
New
cosmetics,
thus far. Ooh,
mounts, titles, and housing items.
I like that
The deeper
transmog
you
set.
go, the
I main
harder
Death
the
Knight
challenges,
primarily.
and the more you unlock.
Though I'm a bit of an
Prey has
alcoholic,
three
so I play
difficulties.
a few.
Normal, which serves as an introduction
Haven't
to the
seen
system,
much for
along
Death
with
Knight, though we
offerings
do know
plenty
one of the specs
challenge.
is getting
Hard,
reworked.
where the ambushes get meaner and the encounters more intense. And Nightmare, which
Yeah,
is just
I am
about the
hoping
fastest way
Nightmare
to gain
is
intimate
sufficiently
knowledge of
difficult.
Midnight's many new and scenic graveyards. Prey can ambush you at any time, whether you're a
They're acting as if you're gonna die in Nightmare mode.
Business.
We'll see
Each
about
time
that.
you defeat
I'm
your
hopeful.
target, you increase your advantage by tiring them out and buying time to find whatever dark hole they're hiding in. Higher difficulties incorporate torments, personal afflictions that only impact you.
Okay.
Torments cause a wide range of effects, like creating an AoE damage puddle under
I would
recently
walk out of
deceased
it.
foes, or haunting you with a bloody spirit that deals lethal damage when it catches you.
Lethal, so it just
Torments
kills
also
you.
manifest
Okay.
in the form
So you have to be on the
of Astalor's
move.
impatience, forcing you to make a kill within a specific time limit before Astalor simply
That
extracts his
implies
payment
that
from you.
that system's actually going to be
Prey
rather
targets
dangerous
are all
overall.
different, and all deadly. Magister Sunbreaker, a disgraced blood elf whose reckless magic is a threat to Silvermoon and everyone near it.
Fire
High
Mage.
Vindicator Vareem, a zealot who believes the void can only be defeated by covering the entire world in holy flame, and is ready to put that belief to the test.
Okay.
Executor Canius, a sadistic dominar whose
Yeah, one of
primary
these
hobby
guys is not
murdering
like the
anyone
other.
foolish enough to challenge his martial prowess. Prey is a way to add excitement, unpredictability, and challenge to your journey through midnight. But be warned, there's a reason Astalor isn't chasing these targets himself. For those who tread
Okay,
the
they're
warm
acting
paths
as if
and
that
soaring
system's going to
skies
be
of
pretty
Azeroth,
meaty.
it is more than a world, more than
Ooh.
story, character, or conflict. Azeroth
that
is,
shoreline?
and always will be, home.
Hey, what's
Housing
going
in
on?
Midnight is dedicated to that
I want to see more of the
being
Horde
part
zone.
Of something bigger.
We've seen a
Of
few
something
screenshots of
greater,
it. Ooh, that is
of living
nice.
a real life
I
as
like
a true
that.
part of a real world. Housing in WoW is built to give you boundless self-expression in the place you call yours. Collect hundreds of decorations and dive deep on
We are doing-
customization. Place.
I
rotate,
cannot wait to stream
scale,
this.
and move items to your heart's content.
I'm
This
going
is
to make
more
one
than changing
piss
a
a
coat of
house.
paint or choosing a different picture frame. It's a sandbox for your imagination. World
It
of
looks
Warcraft
so
has over
versatile, I
2
love it.
decades of content, and the time you
We're
spend
not
in
gonna
Azeroth
gloss
over
over
the
that
years
transmog
will
stuff,
yield
though.
a bounty of housing rewards. Milestones
Okay,
like
UI looks
completing
good,
your
too.
Legion Order Hall campaign or finishing completionist achievements like Back to the Beyond will award housing items post facto. You'll also earn decor.
Shout out
through
to the use of
dungeons
the
and
word
raids,
post facto.
reputation vendors, achievements, quest lines, housing endeavors.
Hello,
the
Little Wester.
auction
Welcome to the
house,
stream.
holidays and live events, and crafting.
God,
All
these zones look
professionals
so
from
good.
all
I
expansions
imagine
can craft
the housing
decor.
zones are like a glimpse of what they have in
Search the
plan,
world
or
for
what they have
lumber,
planned for after the
a
World
new
Soul Saga,
gathering
when they almost
resource,
certainly are
and
going to
use
like
it to
redo
craft
the old world.
decorations that can be bought and sold on the auction house.
Work.
Many
Something need
housing-specific
doing?
items can be dyed, giving you greater control of the finer details of decorating.
Red, straight
Imagine
up.
your dream home.
Bro's
Have
gonna
it
stream this
crafted
update for a week
decor
straight?
to
Like,
bring it to
unironically,
reality.
yes.
Then tweak it until it is
There's a high
just
chance
right.
that happens.
Floor plans are flexible.
This is
You
a
can
game from
rotate and stack rooms to
2004,
create
by the
multi-floor
way.
structures.
Jesus.
A variety of room types and shapes.
Look how
are available,
customizable this
including
is.
normal squares and rectangles. L
Oh,
and T
this system
hallways,
reminds me
as
of
well
like
as
the
some
map
more
customization from like Time
fantastical
Splitters 2, which I
configurations.
get is a PS2 game,
Advanced
right? But
mode
still.
takes the toolset even further, allowing you to adjust each piece of decor exactly as you want.
Oh my god,
Rotate,
dude, I can make like a
float,
guild house for
scale,
us.
and more to make your home a perfect reflection of your taste.
I wonder how you get the
That's
books to
just the
fly up in the air
inside.
like that.
The outside of your house is also customizable.
Oh, so that one of the Blood
Place
Elf
your
houses?
home
Because that
how you
looked
want it
insane.
on your plot. Add fountains, statues, planters, and more. Change
like
out
that
your
rake.
windows. Pick the perfect chimney.
Which is never
Add
gonna
a
like
tower,
actually
and
get
decide
any
on the
leaves.
door of
I
your
love how
dreams.
giant those like
Exterior
towers
plots
are
also
compared to
have
the rest of the
same
house.
advanced mode as interiors for even more modification. At Midnight's official launch, you'll have a choice between exterior themes based on orcs, humans, blood elves, and night elves.
I like how they
These
didn't
are
even
just
show the
themes.
Night Elf one.
They're full architectural styles.
Yeah,
with
Blood
unique
Elves for the win.
customization options. Orc homes feature hide rooftops, bonfires, and rugged surfaces.
Bonfire.
Human homes are rustic, with sturdy stone walls, warm wooden floors, and colorful banners. Level up your house to unlock more flexibility.
Oh, I'm leveling that up.
New rooms and floors.
Oh, believe
bigger
me.
house sizes. Increases in the number of spots for decor, and more. Every house is in a
Meh.
shared zone known as a neighborhood, where you and others can show off your homes.
Oh god,
build
don't show all those
community,
sheep
and
to
participate in rolling
the guy from
challenges
Bravely
to earn
Default.
housing
Tis.
rewards. Neighborhoods feature a wide variety of biomes, from spooky forests and coastal plains in Founders Point to lush oases and
Okay.
windswept bluffs in Razorwind Shores. All contain different kinds of plots.
I want to see more
Some are
Razorwind
secluded
Shores,
and
the
quiet,
Horde Zone.
while others are clustered for the
I feel like we've seen
socially
way more of the
vibrant.
Alliance Zone.
Your neighborhood is faction-coded in its aesthetics, but not faction-exclusive in its residency. You have the choice between two types of neighborhood.
I am pretty
Private
glad that
neighborhoods
it's
where
faction
guilds
coded
or
for
groups of
aesthetics.
friends can form their own space. Public neighborhoods where you'll find a home among friends you haven't met yet. Private neighborhoods come in two varieties. Guild neighborhoods, which scale to fit your guild roster, and charter neighborhoods, which are capped at 50 homes and are perfect for tight-knit communities. Endeavors are monthly neighborhood-wide activities that bring
There's so
everyone
much
together
to this
complete
system, it's
tasks,
crazy. Not
unlock
only can
themed
you, like,
decorations, and
level up the
contribute
house
to
itself, you have
helping
all
your
these
neighborhood
endeavors.
evolve. Participate
I'm not
in
doing the
endeavors to
Mechadom
earn
stuff,
house XP
little bro.
and community coupons that give you access to exclusive decor. Above
Send them
all,
back to
housing is
Gnomeregan.
designed to help you find your perfect space and transform it to your own fantasy haven. To create your own home, suite, home.
this big of a deep dive. I feel like it was needed after the travesty that was the Gamescom announcement.
And there you have it. Thank you so much on behalf of the entire World of Warcraft team.
That was damn
for joining
good.
us for this overview
They need to
of
keep
Midnight.
that voice
And
actor
if after
around
what you
for
just
future
saw, you can't wait
narrations.
to get your hands on housing,
Also
don't
in-game,
worry,
because, like,
it's
my
coming
god.
your way if you have Midnight in early December of this year. Thank you again, and we'll see you in Asgard.
Hey, I have midnight, so that means early December. Hey, we're cooking. Yeah? Get ready on the grill. Also coming in midnight. Yeah, show off more of this. A new 40v40 battleground could be so good. New and returning players Exiles Reach update. Okay, can we make Exiles Reach not dog ass? Lore walking updates, okay. Situational outfit swapping, thank God. Ooh! Yo! Some of those animations were good. Thank God they're actually fixing the base nameplates. They were so ass. You had to use an add-on to make them like halfway usable. Death recap, thank God for that too.
Friends, we hope you've enjoyed this deeper look at Midnight.
That was so
But
much
as you
better
can
than
see,
Gamescom, it's
this
not
fight
even funny.
is far from over. The drums of war thunder once again, and Azeroth needs her champions, now more than ever.
We need more Chris as well. Okay. Storytelling seems like it has a lot of potential. I love going back to the old zones with Eretor. That has so much potential as well. Delve, dungeon, raid variety looks so much better. Delve's having an actual story purpose, I like. Valera looks better than Brand's dumbass. My main concern for Midnight is don't have it be too Alliance focused. Yeah, we need some Horde loving. Pause. Hello, little soul. Welcome to the stream. It's like the actual stuff we're getting at Midnight. There's not, outside of like housing, there's not a real big, oh, this is like the main expansion feature for Midnight. I don't think it necessarily needs one, because it's taking what already has worked and trying to do it better. And like what's been working right now has been really good. With all the screen clutter. Well, if we have 8 minutes, I might as well boot up the game. They just need to tell a compelling story in the game. I think the storytelling has gotten drastically better over the course of the war within itself. It's just the overall structure going from one patch to the other feels a bit too broken up. I love your videos. Oh, thank you, Sol. I appreciate that. It's like, for me, I feel like each patch kind of like feels too sudden of a transition for the story. I think the best transition they've had was like 11.0 to 0.1 because of all the quests we had in anticipation of going to Undermine. But like for like 11.2, it was just like, hey, champion, yo, what up? We're going to Karesh. Let's go. Hey, this Demencius here. And it's just like, okay, let's weave these stories together more coherently. That can go a long way. Trying to get my Feral Druid leveled up so I can farm Transmog on him. I think Midnight is... The War Within was originally supposed to be its own separate story, and then it was broken up into the World Soul Saga. So I think it makes sense for it to feel a little bit, like, broken up. But also, they're, like, teasing a bunch of things that aren't going to be paid off for a little while at this point, because they're trying to tell a cohesive overall story, which I'm fine with. It just feels a bit jarring going from how WoW used to do things to this current formula. It's just, with this payoff, it needs to really be paid off. Like, that's the thing. I think WoW has all the potential to tell a compelling narrative within the confines of the game. What they are showing for Midnight gives me reason to believe that potential has more of a chance of being paid off here than ever before, but it doesn't mean they're going to pay it off. I need to see how they tell it in-game. Far too often, their dialogue can feel too stiff. It can feel too repetitive. And as a direct result, it can make the themes they're trying to convey feel too childish in their execution compared to what it actually should be. Now, it's WoW, right? Like, we're not expecting, like, the most mature shit of all time, right? At the same time, though, it has to be more than, like, what we had in Dragonflight and at some parts during the War Within. I think where the War Within really shined storytelling-wise was in its side content on a number of occasions, where they had stories that were really compelling. Like, one of my favorites was in the Zone, where is it? Hallowfall, where the entire Zone's premise is there is this, like, group from an empire that's not even on the map. They're, like, on the other side of Azeroth. This one group found their way and were essentially teleported to underneath the world. We meet up with them. The problem is, during the course of that, they lose out on, like, all of their mages that know teleportation magic, except for one who doesn't know teleporting because he's a fucking, like, trainee. So he spends all of his time secluded away, trying to research teleportation magics to take his people back to their homeland. He discovers the way to do it, and is immediately assassinated by someone. Or this other story they had, where you're dealing with an Earthen that is basically on death's door and losing his memory over the course of the quest line. And, like, you're just dealing with, like, trying to tick off his bucket list. Like, that stuff was really good. And, like, even the stuff with the ethereals in 11.2, that was really good as well. It was just the dialogue acting as that, like, glue going from one scene to the next can feel a bit too repetitive when every quest it feels like Illyria's going, we can't trust Xal'atath. It's like, okay, go, I know that. We've established this. We need more focus. And, like, we need to allow the really big, cool stuff like Dimensius to have enough room to be cool and to have the focus and the spotlight on them. Compared to, like, oh, we need to really beat you over the head with what we're trying to convey. Because it comes off as if they don't believe the player base has any kind of, like, reading comprehension. Now, it's entirely possible that they don't, right? Right? Like, especially if you see a lot of online reactions to a lot of stories, not just WoW-related. A lot of people can just, like, miss the mark. So I think there's a reason we're seeing a lot of, like, stories try to repeat a bunch of very obvious things to make it clear, because some people just do not get it. However, I think doing so comes at the cost of telling an engaging in-game story. The things the plot beats that WoW is covering are very interesting. It's just, they need that nuance. They need to solidify the way they execute on telling a story in-game to really go that next step. I think they can do it. It's just a matter of, will they do it? God, I love the music in this zone as well. My God, it's so good. I think the biggest wrong they can right as well when it comes to the overall engagement in the story is when it comes to the Horde here. Midnight gives you prime opportunity to tell a compelling story that includes the Horde in at least equal measure with the Alliance, which has not really been the case up to now, the last few expansions. They need to develop cosmic level characters on the Horde side, because when they've been going for this Void and Light storyline, well, you killed off all the cosmic level Horde characters, because anyone that was remotely interested in the Horde side, you just killed. And then, like, you didn't replace them with anyone. Or you just kind of forgot they existed, like Zappy Boy back in BFA. Develop characters like Lorthamar even more. Develop characters like Lady Liadrin. These are interesting, compelling characters throughout the story of World of Warcraft. Give them interesting arcs as well. And don't just, like, use Blood Elf-looking characters and say that's enough. Even if they're, like, more associated with the Alliance. Cough Valera. They did mention that they want, or are planning to have a story with Thrall in the later portions of the expansion. I don't know if that means the patches. I kind of think that's going to be the case.
Hey, very well then.
But they need to find a way to better integrate the Horde into the story, because having the story find a way to have a balance at any given time between Horde and Alliance gives World of Warcraft its aesthetic charm. You need both. You can't just do one or the other.
What can I do for ya? See you soon.
Oh my god, they're doing the fucking Q&A. Hold on. I think I was yapping too much.
Versa. However, in a recent blog post, it was. I'm Randy at Quest. However, in a recent blog post, it was stated that the housing styles would be faction locked. Can we get clarification on that?
Yes, there was a bit of confusion definitely around the Gamescom messaging.
Did you submit for the Q&A?
As we
I forget
saw
one of
in
them.
the video, the
Oh my god,
neighborhoods
what did I
ultimately
submit?
Are anchored in specific locations in the world. If you are in the Alliance neighborhood, you are on the outskirts of Stormwind in the Elwyn area. If you are in the Horde neighborhood, you're on the outskirts of Orgrimmar. While private neighborhoods can be cross-faction, you can have your guildmates, you can have your friends of the opposite faction move in. The general setting, the exterior houses there are going to reflect the location. The NPCs that are wandering around the neighborhood, again, are anchored in that place in the world. Maybe something that we revisit down the line, but for the time being, if you're in the Horde neighborhood, the home exteriors need to reflect the Horde aesthetic. Take that up with the Orgrimmar HOA if there's a concern.
Speaking of things wandering around,
I'm fine with that
players
because it
in
makes it
UK
feel
on
like,
the
wow.
Spanish forum
That's one of the most
asked,
important things I think they
know
need to,
there
like,
are
balance
plans
when it
for
comes to all
combat
this.
pets to appear in housing. Are there also plans for hunter pets?
Oh, I asked if
Yes,
if there will be a
pets are
way to
something in general
review
that
in-game
we're working
cutscenes again.
towards. At
That was
release
one of my
midnight,
questions.
Battle pets won't be available to be placed just yet. I think something that we need to solve to make that work on the engineering side is actually making sure that they can path and move comfortably around whatever configuration of objects you might happen to place in your home or in your yard.
I like that they're at least
So we
explaining
are
why we're not
planning
getting
on
battle
delivering
pets to
that
be placed
shortly
in the
after
housing
launch.
initially.
Alongside that, we do want to add the ability to place your mounts in your mount collection. If you want to, have them on.
Oh, we need a
in your
stable,
yard, that's
yeah.
something we'd love to deliver
We
as
need a
well.
stable to put all of our
Hunter
mounts.
pets are
At
probably
least our
trickier.
favorites.
Those are character specific, and housing is an account-wide system really tied to your warband, and so pulling from specific characters' hunter pet stable would probably be much more challenging. I'll never say never, but that's not in the plans currently.
Decor.
It's honest, who cares?
Bjerky on Reddit asked, how will the trading post housing items work? Let's say there's a chair on the trading post. Will we have to buy the chair multiple times if we want a set of 4 in our house? Will there be
Oh,
a
that would be
chair
brutal
bundle
if they're,
for
like,
set price,
expensive at all.
Or will the purchase give us infinite amount of chairs?
I thought Metzen was going to be there. Yeah, I don't know why Metzen's not here
There's gonna be
either.
lots of ways that you can get decor starting in 11.27 and then into midnight through achievements, through crafting.
Yeah,
through
that's a
completing
weird decision. Why
games
isn't
at
Metzen
midnight
here?
and so on. And we ran into a lot
I
of
think
questions
the
that
story
you
that was
asked,
going around for
that,
Gamescom as to why he
the
wasn't
person
there
who
was
asked
because
the
he was
question.
sick.
Yes, and
I don't know how
and for every
accurate
while,
that
we're
is.
just not going to have them on the trading post. At least for the first few months, there should be plenty of other ways that you can start gathering decor for your house. And then you won't have to make that hard decision between, do I want this chair versus this cool mount or cool transmog?
Another question comes from Xanther on the
So it just
forums.
won't be the trading post for a bit.
Xanther
Okay.
asked, how will outdoor housing plots work? If I want a certain plot and it's taken, do I have the option to try another instance?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Essentially, when you want to move house, you're just going to say, "Yep, it's time to move."
Yeah, the
It's
moving
already
house
packaged
feature
up for
seems
you.
very intelligent.
Paul likes to say that a mage comes along and puts it into an arcane ball for you. Don't know if that's actually,
That is what happens.
Oh, totally. Okay. And then you can.
It's like a
go to
giant
wherever you
robot
want
from
to,
Xenosaga.
Sort of deploy your house, and it just comes right back out of the bubble, set up exactly how you had it. So you can move around neighborhoods. You can move around different plots within a neighborhood. Yep. Totally.
It's a smart
totally
system.
transportable.
Right on.
Just let you pick up
Celia
your
on
house
the
and put it
German
somewhere
WoW
else.
Forums asked, will there be updates to the guild system in Midnight?
I think most of the updates we see to the guild system are going to be in the form of neighborhoods. We expect to see a lot of guilds, especially guilds who are like playing a lot actively with one another to build guild neighborhoods.
So the answer's no. Let me just
live
like
alongside one another.
sum up
So
this
instead of
answer.
the typical ways you're interacting with one another in WoW, whether that's raid nights, Mythic Plus nights, PvP, whatever it is you choose to do. You might also just start running into one another in the morning when you go out to get the paper. And so really looking forward to seeing guilds build stronger connections based on those guild neighborhoods.
I think the other systemic trappings of the guild system are something that we know is definitely due for a refresh. Guilds obviously have been there since the beginning. And
Thank you,
there's definitely
Ian.
room for improvement. Our focus for Midnight, though, really was on the housing integration side of it, and the rest of the system is something we hope to get back to in the near future.
Thank you, Ian.
A highly upvoted question on
Good
Reddit
communication.
comes from Chilligok. Chilligok asked, will we ever get another texture update for older races, especially compared to Earthen? The hairstyles are outdated now.
We do have a couple which are coming in Midnight. As you
Oh.
complete the Amani campaign in Zulaman, you will be able to unlock some cool cosmetics for Darkspear Trolls, some cool hairstyles, and actually skin colors as well. And so if you have any Darkspear Trolls on your account, you play through the campaign, you'll be able to get some cool customizations. And this is one of the ways that we do try to approach this is as it's appropriate to the story, we'll look for
Why
cool
wasn't
ways
this
that you
announced
can
before?
integrate cosmetics into your own character. That's not the only way that we might do this, though.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's something that we see as an issue to chip away
Also,
at
don't
over
just make
time.
it, like,
We want to
story
roll
locked.
out extra customizations, hairstyles, you name it, for the existing races to continue to bring them up to parity with the very newest options. It's not something we're able to do all at once, but particularly where it makes sense and fits the story, we're excited to keep adding them. Our long-term goal is to get to a place where every race, whether brand new or one of the original ones, has roughly the same number of options.
Okay.
So, as
So
we
they
saw
want to
in
do
design
everything,
and
it's just
going
they
back to
can't do
the
it all at
Gamescom
once.
announcement, we have a system coming called Prey. And I have a couple of questions here about Prey. System of cells on
So they're
Reddit
just going to
asked,
focus on the ones that
will
are more
Prey
story
system
relevant.
make
Okay,
all
that
mobs
makes sense
in
at least.
Target zone more challenging, or only the Prey target plus world quests unique to that system?
Yeah, it will affect everything in the zone for you. So if
Oh.
you have chosen to go into the zone chasing a nightmare mode prey, everything is going to be much harder for you.
Whoa,
It's
announce
based
that!
on,
That's just like the...
an aura that's put on you, sort of like it's almost like an affliction in a way, or a torment. And as you move through that zone, it's going to be harder.
And
That's
the
a world
player
tier
in
system.
Prey
What?
is on their own?
Why not announce
They
that
are
before?
When they finally wear down that boss, if it's in one of the harder modes, then you need to go mano a mano. If it's in the normal mode, then the rest of the players in the vicinity can help you out.
Gotcha. The WoW creator Fandy asked, is the Prey system planned to be a part of the World Row in Vaults?
Yeah, in one way or another. As
Okay, the fact
build
that
our
Prey
expansion,
actually
one of the last
affects
things
the
that
rest
comes
of
in
the zone
specifics
as
on
well
rewards, so we don't have
sounds
specific details
way
now,
better.
But when we do look at Prey, we
Especially if
look at
they give you enough rewards to, like,
player,
make it valuable.
Types of things that you do in delves.
That actually
And delves
can,
do take up that bottom row.
if
of-
it's
that
difficult
bottom
enough,
world row
maybe
in,
make the
Defense.
overworld actually
You expect
remotely
If
challenging.
you're running Prey, you're going to see better rewards in that row, in one way or another.
Good. I want to get to one of the most highly upvoted questions we saw across all channels. This is from Weird Dandom Ally on Reddit. And that goes, any plans to rejuvenate the glyph system? All classes could
Oh
take
my
advantage of
God,
it for
thank
class
you.
visual customizations like warlocks have with their pets and druids with their forms.
Yeah, so there isn't a glyph overhaul planned for Midnight at launch in particular, but the general question of more customization for spell visuals, transforms, things along those lines, that's one that we're also very excited about and always looking to offer more customization, more cosmetic self-expression where possible, and the glyph system is a great vehicle for this. It's not the only vehicle, but where it makes sense, that's definitely one of the avenues we would use.
Speaking of
Okay, so
highly
nothing
upvoted
soon.
questions,
Okay.
we got a lot from the PvP community. I want to ask a few of
All
those.
4 of them.
So starting with Keth Cup on Reddit, the question is, do you have any plans on making PvP less daunting for new players?
We absolutely do, yeah. We're really excited to introduce a new feature called Training Grounds. This is a feature where players can enter battlegrounds, fighting alongside other players against game-controlled opponents. So instead of fighting against
Bot
other
lobby.
PvPers, potentially people who have been playing this mode much longer than you, who have better PvP gear than you, and are going to wipe the floor with you, you'll be able to fight against some opponents who you'll have a little bit more of a satisfying win rate against. And because of that, we think this will be a pretty good on-ramp for people who are PvP curious, who want to get into PvP, but feel like there's just too much of a steep on-ramp because of those daunting aforementioned players who want to wipe the floor with you. This is going to start with a couple battlegrounds that players will be able to...
It sounds like a neat little system. I just don't know how much staying power it's going to have.
Okay.
We love PvP, broadly speaking. I think one of the challenges is it can be very daunting to get in, as the question implies. If you're getting into PvP for the first time, you're in some cases jumping into a pool that's filled with sharks who've been doing this for 20 years. But there's so
That'd
much
just be a
there's
Frost Death
nothing
Knight,
quite
just spam
like
obliterate.
Warcraft PvP and that style of conflict, that style of combat. And so really our philosophical approach as we move into Midnight to really try to rejuvenate and grow the scene is to broaden the base of that pyramid so we can kind of lift the whole thing up and help all levels of it, whether you are the most hardcore person competing for titles at the end of every season. Everyone will be better served if people feel like they can actually enter this community for the first time and discover what is so great about WoW PvP.
Let's all be sharks.
So eventually.
The PvP player and
Good.
creator
PvP
known
needs
as
some love in this
Supatees
game.
had the most highly upvoted question on our forums. He wrote, in the War Within, we saw major reward improvements and restructuring for Mythic Plus, which improved participation. Are there plans to look at the current reward structure for PvP, such as rating cutoffs or additional rewards?
There are definitely plans to look at this. One thing I can say that will be changing at launch in Midnight and the first season of Midnight is that top tier cutoff coming down from 2,400 to 2,300 for those rewards and titles. I think looking at how MMR has evolved and how the rating ecosystem has played out, that's been a bit too exclusive even for some of our best players. Broadly speaking, beyond that, I think there's a lot more that we would like to do with the system. That's not necessarily going to be happening right at launch in Midnight, but if you look, for example, at what we changed with Mythic Plus and new titles and new structure and things like the resilient.
I think quite a bit of these questions is just like
those changes came in War Within patches.
Ian specifically being a bit evasive with, because it's like there's no real plans for Midnight at least early on.
Got another one.
They
Santis
might be
on the
like
WoW
trying
forum
something
wrote,
for like the last
will
Titan
War
though.
mode receive more well-needed attention? More activities like zone objectives or rotating events?
That's how a lot of these questions feel like to me, with the way Ian's replying to
Yeah,
quite a
we're
few of
adding
them.
a
It's like
whole new
either the
area,
last Titan or like
into
the
Void
expansion
Storm
right
zone.
after
A giant
is when they
war
want to
mode
really
area
address
which,
them.
reflects the same space as the Slayer's Rise Battleground. If you watched the deep dive video, you got to see that. That Slayer's Rise is also made manifest in the zone itself.
Why they have
And this,
not
if
talked
you've
about
played
Slayer's
War Mode
Rise
and
also
past
just being
expansions,
a
we've
zone,
taken
not
couple
just a
War Mode areas and
battleground,
had
is
maybe
beyond
one in
me.
each zone, one in Ringing Deeps and one in Isle of Dorn, where PvP. When
They
you
should be
enable
showing
War Mode,
that
you'll have
off.
some special, unique activities. We took all those and glumped them all together right into this Slayer's Rise area, and so there's going to be a huge PvP playground. If you have War Mode on, be able to do lots of cool world quests, activities, reasons to just kill one another. And even
Sounds
if you don't have
good.
war mode enabled, there'll still be PvP themed content.
I wish they kind of showed that off in the deep dive, though.
Why would you not have war mode enabled?
That's a very good question.
Because I want to get quests done.
Yeah, it's
That's why.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Maclemente26 on Reddit asked a question that we saw a lot of, which is, when can we expect reputations from expansions prior to Shadowlands to become Warbound reputations?
So yeah, taking full accountability here. I know that when we rolled out the warbands, we said that we were going to work our way backwards through reputations. We haven't made progress as quickly as we would have liked. We got some of the Shadowlands reputations, but not the Covenant ones. This is something we're going to pick up and resume. I can't commit to a definite timetable, but in the long run, we don't want this, internal disparity.
They just haven't
between
found the
how different
time.
expansions reputations are handled. And
Again, I at
we
least
start with
appreciate
most
them being
recent
like clear
work our way
about that.
backwards.
Thank you. 610 on Blue Sky said, War Within is the first WoW expansion without a legendary. Can we expect anything in Midnight, or is the team
didn't
taking
even
time to
clock that, yeah.
reevaluate what place
Huh.
legendaries have in the modern game?
I think we always want to avoid things seeming formulaic, where it's like, okay, you can expect it's a new season, there's going to be a new legendary, this is how it's going to work. Legendaries should always remain special. They should feel like
I agree.
these are items that have clear stories behind them and feel worthy of that special orange color.
So they're
I think
only
as we're
going to
also
do it
looking
when there's
forward to
actually a
issues and
story
how they're
weapon
rewarded,
worth
we
it.
want to make sure they feel special, but also don't turn into something where it feels bad or grindy because they feel required if you want to be competitive. There's a fine line to walk there. There aren't currently any planned for the first tier of Midnight, but as we face certain foes down the line, it may make sense for some of the items that they yield to have that orange color, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I want to ask some lore questions.
Sounds fine to me.
So, Asmira asked, will we be getting any more background information on story regarding Lyrath Windrunner? Sorry. Any of the other Windrunner family members, perhaps?
Absolutely. I don't want to talk too much about patches, but certainly in Midnight, as we go into the Spire, you will have the opportunity to really get a brother's view of his sisters and an opportunity to learn a lot more about what happened and what's happening in that place. And I mentioned before, we're going to see the sisters.
Okay, so Sylvanas will probably be like a patch or something. Got it.
Ask about trolls. So, here come all the names. Where is Vol'jin's story in all of this? I'm hoping we find a way to weave Vol'jin, Talanji, Zul'jin, Rokan, Zul'jan, and Zul'jara into a cohesive story.
I still hate the fact they
troll
killed
unity or
Rastakhan.
cooperation.
I still think that was a
Right out of the
misplay. They
gate
fucked up troll
in,
lore so badly by just
Midnight,
killing the interesting ones.
You're not going to see that combination of trolls, but you will see a combination of some trolls as we continue into patches and move forward. We're very much focused on what's going on with the trolls as well as what's going on with the Blood Elves. They have not always been on the best of terms for reasons, and there's definitely a story to be told about their relationship and all of those folks.
They
coming
never
together.
should have killed off Vol'jin or Rastakhan, in my opinion, but like
Grazian
now that
Blue
they've
Sky
done it,
said,
at least with the way that Vol'jin's in the story
fighting
right now,
back the
bring him
void
back
of
in
the
some
Sunwell. Can we
degree.
hope to see more lore about the Tauren and
With them being like the
Azeroth's
lower
sun
kings
god
now.
Ansha? Eyes of the Earth Mother told us how he and Elune /
Yeah, more Tauren lore would be
Lucia
nice.
fought possibly the Void in ancient Azeroth.
Well, we are going to hang out with Desco a little bit in the Erator's Journey portion of our campaign at Midnight. And I feel like we certainly are going to look at how the Tauren view
This is about to be the most minor story beat of all time, by the way. I can just tell for the way she's saying this. This shit's gonna be like 2 lines of dialogue.
Let's talk about add-ons. The WoW creator Polka TV said, given the upcoming removal of many boss mod tools, how do you plan to preserve the intended difficulty of encounters once these tools are no longer available?
Look at Kaiveza. That's exactly
This is
how.
a great question. For some extra context, I think folks are going to see in the next day or two, as some of the media interviews we've done in the last day go out, that we are rolling out so changes to the add-on API with the launch of Midnight.
All right, good. They're
So
just getting.
that is going to remove
right.
the ability for add-ons to read in real time combat state and combat information
Good.
specifically.
Good.
And one of the big reasons why we're doing this with the launch of a new expansion is so that we can really build all of our combat, our encounters.
Good. I'm fine with it. I don't care if it's like broken for a little bit. Call that shit.
As we've been discussing over the course
Wipe
of
the
year,
slate clean,
really the
and then
main goal with
actually
the
make
shift
the
is
game
to
compelling
create
in its
a
own
level
right
playing
in-game.
field where external tools are no longer
Good. Put him on the hot
needed
seat to
in order
fix everything
engage in
immediately as
content,
well.
you know, at a competitive level, and also to shift some of the things that we are testing when it comes to difficulty, maybe away from Twitch reactions and how quickly you can run to the circle or diamond marker that your add-on told you to run to, and rather to more of the collaborative coordination that have traditionally marked cooperative PvE in WoW. But the goal is to keep difficulty largely the same. In terms of how many pulls it takes to down a boss for your guild, whether you are aiming
I'm
for
so
epic
for
curve and
that.
defeating heroic, or whether you're pushing into
I
mythic or
hate this
whatever
like
else,
arms race where like
overall, it should
mechanics
take you
just
about the same
become
amount of time
faster
to
and
accomplish
faster
what you
and
used to be
faster and
accomplishing.
faster.
It's just that
I
difficulty may
despise
come in very
that.
different places. Without
Kai
add-ons
Vesa
to
was like the
solve
borderline for
mechanics
me.
for you in real time, it may well be the case that we just need to give you a couple more seconds to get into place, or that there should be one fewer ad to interrupt.
Good.
Or
This
what
sounds good. Again, it's all
we are
about
going to be rolling
execution,
out, you know, we're
but
actually going
this
to be
sounds
launching
good.
alpha with a raid boss available
And this
for
is the
testing
direction I
early on.
wished
We
WoW
have a ton
had
of
gone
big
on
native
a
improvements to
while
the
ago,
UI,
but
boss
like better
timers,
late
boss
than
alerts,
never.
so you can see a timeline of upcoming boss abilities, nameplate improvements, cooldown manager improvements, and more to, again, kind of create a unified experience that's baked into the UI. But the goal at the end of the day is for difficulty to remain where it was, and we will be making tuning changes in alpha and beta, as well as, of course, once these encounters are live, to make sure that things are landing in the right place and players still feel well equipped to overcome the challenges in front of them.
Following that, Sped Bros on Reddit asked, what is your plan for upkeep and development of these now built-in add-ons?
Good question.
I think, you know, the functionality that we're pulling into the base UI is something that, as always, we're going to be evolving in response to player feedback. And part of why we're very excited to get people having a look at these right at the start of alpha is so that we have the entirety of the alpha and beta cycle to iterate on them before Midnight launches.
Good.
And then, of course, as always, even after the game is live, we're going to continue to add functionality based on the player requests and the feedback that we're receiving.
Ossicrond on the WoW forums said, sculpting your UI over the years is almost like working on a classic car. Fine-tuning with different fonts, color palettes, and even different types of glow alerts. What is the depth of the available customization, and are there plans to expand it in the future?
So there's a couple of facets to this question. First off, couldn't agree more that I think, you know, UI customization and using add-ons to tailor the aesthetic of a UI, how information is presented and where it's presented, I think are one of the hallmarks of the WoW experience and really one of the strengths of the game for going on 21 years now. There are no plans to eliminate or remove that. The approach we've taken in changing the way the add-on API works...
Yeah, you can
really
probably
is
just change how it looks,
access
but
to that
the core
real-time
functionality of battle-based
details will be
add-ons
very
will be
soon
decided by
from
them,
our UI engineering team
which I
on
think is a far
exactly
better
how this
direction than what
works.
we've had for
But
a
whereas in the
while
past,
at
when
this
we have
point.
restricted aspects of what add-ons can do, we tend to just kind of wall off sections of our UI and say add-ons can't touch this at all. But when it comes to things like nameplates or unit frames and the like, that would have been an unacceptable approach here because that aesthetic customization is so essential. So there's a brand new system that's been created where essentially, you know, pieces of information about what's going on in combat are put in a black box. And add-ons can paint that box pink or yellow or green or make it bigger or smaller, but what they can't do is know exactly what's inside the box.
I'm in favor of that.
To drive logic.
Yeah, that's
In
good. You
addition
can
to
change
that,
how it looks.
The new UI
You can change
functionality
where it
for add,
goes,
whether it's improved
but the
nameplates or
information is
whatever,
dictated by
have
them. That's how it should be.
extensive customizations in terms of, you know, size, shape, location, aesthetic, all of the edit mode functionality, and more. But we have no intent of pulling back in any way from the aesthetic customization that add-ons have always offered.
Cutting to the chase, Felfer on the WoW forums asked, does this mean that existing add-ons like Deadly Boss Mods, Plater, or Details are going to break?
They will change significantly. I think certainly, I mean, day one, if you're logging into alpha and you try to enable them, I do not believe they will work due to changes in the API, but that's standard for any new expansion release. We are inviting the authors of a vast range of add-ons into our first week of alpha, so that's going to be coming up in just the next few days, to get their hands on these changes, to give us feedback about how we can better support their ongoing development. But yes, when it comes to the specific ability to read and process combat information and use that to drive logic, that is going to be changing, and that will affect those add-ons.
Okay, good.
Okay, give me one more. This comes from Herrick's on the WoW forums. Herrick's
Like
says,
all of
"What
these
are
are
the
for
plans
Ian.
regarding improvements to the default raid frames. In
Dude's
the
pulling a
efforts to
double
reduce
shift.
The need for add-ons, raid frames are a major pain point for healers, where the default Blizzard raid frames are basically unusable without at least some external modification."
So yeah, we also have improvements coming to raid frames, definitely with healers in mind. If you're
Okay,
say,
good.
Resto Druid who wants to be able to see all of your HOTS on a target, that's something that we agree is very important and needs to be baked into the default functionality. Same with
I don't play a
encounter
healer. That
designers
wasn't there
calling out
already? How?
Major buffs and debuffs.
That's like
things that you need to
baseline,
know
what?
in an encounter, whether you're a healer or just a raid.
Because
leader.
they never had to
Tabs
do it because
on
of
the story
add-ons.
encounter
Alright.
that way.
Yeah.
And
Don't know
of
why I didn't
course,
think of
you know,
anything
as
else.
mentioned earlier, add-ons will still be able to customize the look and the feel and the size and the overall presentation of raid frames. There just won't be certain functionality that is driving logic based on whether you happen to have a certain debuff or not, but all the rest should still be available.
E. Chow on Blue Sky has a couple of questions. Given the connection to the Army of Light, the Sunwell and Blood Elves in general,
Ian's like,
being
oh, thank
their
God,
main
not for me,
rival
finally.
in the Burning Crusade, will we see Draenei play any sort of role? Also, will Quel'Thalas be, with Quel'Thalas being part of the main world now, will there be any updates to Forsaken Lands?
So the
I want that
Draenei,
question. Fuck the Draenei.
You know, obviously will be part of the fight. You know, part of the battle that we're waging against the Void. But this chapter is focused on the Blood Elves and the Blood Elves struggle with some trolls, and we're gonna really be leaning in there more than we are with the Draenei.
Good, keep it focused.
You know, will come up for the Draenei to have their moment in the light, as it were.
Yeah, and as it goes for like changes to Forsaken Lands, well, there's some minor changes as we've added Quel'Thalas and Zul'Aman into the main body of the Eastern Kingdoms to connect them in. So there's a tunnel in the Forsaken Lands that does connect it in. We are going to see some Forsaken characters as well. We're actually going to be working with a little bit of a deep cut, but Alansis Fowl, the Archpriest, is going to be a character who appears and has a couple interesting interactions and chats with Eretor and Liadrin and others.
I like that. I like
We're going to
that.
continue to build out Forsaken story as we continue.
Yeah, I think looking at how this is playing out and will continue to.
I feel like in the
we're very
Shadowlands and like
excited by
Forsaken
some of the reception we've heard from Gamescom
heritage
onwards
sets,
about the changes to Silvermoon, Eversong.
they've kind of
and
put a
more.
pin in the whole
Honestly,
Forsaken
there's
stuff
a bit of
until they do an
anxiety
old world
internally about
revamp.
The idea of
That's the vibe
revisiting
it gives
an
off to me.
location as for one of our zones, whether some players would view that as like somehow lesser than coming up with a brand new place. But I think as people see this full splendor of Silvermoon, get a chance to revisit Eversong and what it's become all these years later, I think the excitement around that really excites us too, because we'd love to be able to tell more new stories in some of the iconic locations that resonate throughout everyone's fandom of Warcraft and what Azeroth is about. And so that will mean updating those locations, and I think that's something that we're excited to do more of as we look forward. Of course, The Last Titan will see us going back to Northrend, so that'll be a story for another day.
I think we for sure discovered that we can tell different stories when we go to old places and see how characters have changed, see how the space.
They're so wink wink nudge nudge when it comes to the old world revamp. They are so wink wink nudge nudge.
Faxia on Reddit asked, "Are you planning on adding any new specs that can tank or heal for existing classes?"
Not right now in Midnight. I think Devourer, Demon Hunter, and that new range DPS spec for them is our focus right now. But I think we've seen, whether it's this or whether it's augmentation, there is excitement around the idea of established classes getting new specs. And so that is something I think we are likely to explore as we look to the future.
We need a new plate wielder.
On Reddit asked, "Throughout the War Within, Some classes and specs received visual updates, and as a monk player, the update to Vivify was very appreciated. Are there any other classes
Monk
or
player.
specs that can be revealed to be getting updated visuals in Midnight?
Yeah, there's a couple really cool Apex talents. So Apex talents are the new talents you'll be able to learn at the bottom of your spec tree, and a lot of these have some fantastic visuals. Ones that jump out to me are the augmentation, where you summon a bronze dragon version of yourself from the future to fight alongside you for a little bit.
Oh, that's
the
cool.
Frost Mage one as well. You summon a hand of frost that chases down your target and attack them. And so these are some of the new abilities that are going to get some new custom visuals. As far as like looking back at older visuals, as was the case with Vivify, this is something that we tend to do as we continue to build smaller patches. Most of our efforts for Midnight was building all the new stuff, but then as we continue building out the game, we look to the future. This is where we look back at, as we did with Vivify, find abilities where we can raise the floor and say like, okay, this one has aged not as gracefully as the rest of our visuals, and we can bring it up to par.
Yeah, they recently did stuff like that with
Following
Shaman.
that,
I
we
like the
found a
new
question
visuals that
from
Shaman
Hannah
got.
on the German forums. And
I like the
Hannah
lightning bolt
asked,
change.
Will the void/light
Feels more like the
topic
original
be
one.
picked up in any additional class specs in the future? For example, Sunwell effects for a Holy Paladin, or perhaps void powers for a Warlock.
I don't know about Void Warlocks quite yet, but we do have a existing Void themed spec, the Shadow Priest, my beloved Shadow Priest, which has a new ability, Tentacle Slam, which replaces Shadow Crash, and it is a giant voidy tentacle that slams down in a line.
No
in front
shot.
of you and has a similar AoE component, but a lot more of a
New attack.
classic voidy Shadow Priest.
Tentacle
idea to it.
Slam.
We
It's
also
good.
have
People are
one
going to
Apex
diabolical
talent, the
things with
Discipline
that.
Priest has Void Shield.
Diabolical,
Powered shield
not
with a
Warlock.
Void themed shield. So there are places where the Void and Light are leaking into our class design.
Going back to the support roles, Neo Sorrow on the EU Spanish forums asked, can we expect anything new regarding the support role in Midnight? Will it be expanded to other classes? Is it considered that it maybe
After
didn't work as
augmentation, I don't think
expected
they're
for
ever doing it
augmentation,
again.
and perhaps that just becomes a normal damage or healer?
So we're not planning on currently expanding it to other classes, but we're also not planning on changing augmentation to just fit into the existing niches. I think there's a lot of excitement around the idea of support, and I think we've seen players embrace that
It's
fantasy.
just whenever they
We're
try
still
it, you
iterating
can't
on
get it
evolving our
balanced.
specialization and getting to a place where we can find a happy medium, where it can kind of realize that fantasy and be effective as someone who bolsters the strength of your allies without also becoming so effective that it feels required in groups and kind of limits composition diversity. I think if we're able to achieve that,
Getting
when
that
we're able to
balance
achieve
right
that,
is so
I do
dang
think we would
hard.
like to look to what other ideas might apply a different fantasy to executing that concept.
I want to switch to the topic of delves. The WoW content creator True Villain Manny said, with delves integrated into the story, will there be certain scenarios that are locked in as we level? And will there be additional story in those alternative scenarios with delves?
Yeah, as we move through the campaign in Midnight, we will be entering delves with specific goals in mind.
That I like.
And that
Good.
particular variant of the story will have the objectives that we need.
More gameplay
to
variety in the
accomplish
story. I
as we go
appreciate
through
that
them.
always.
As always, our delves will have multiple variants to play through with different stories occurring. So yes, we will continue to use delves in this way, and look for opportunities to continue to build quest content that enters delves.
So let's go inside. Varteris on the WoW forums said, will delves have even greater variety than in the War Within? Maybe a randomized puzzle to solve, a race, a whole new set of abilities?
Yeah, there's a couple ways that delves are changing. We have a new follower. Valera Sanguinara is going to come along, and she's going to mix things up. She's takes delves a little bit more seriously than Brand does, and a lot more stabbily as well. We also have some outdoor delves that are going to take place in outdoor spaces, and so this will just.
I
change
would
up not
like
only
to
the
see
vibe of
some
the space, but your
randomly
ability to move
generated
around
events
because
or
you'll
something
be
like
able to use
that
your ground mouse
take place more in the
to get around.
delves.
We're also just taking a look at the mechanics that we're using.
I
in
agree, they
delves
need a
in
little bit more
Midnight.
variety.
So you can announce now that Midnight does not have any underwater delves. It also does not have any delves with a mechanic where you have to, say, pick up a candle or a totem and throw it ahead and continue doing it.
Oh, thank Christ, I hated that mechanic.
Folks, let us know how
It
they
turned
felt
every
about
delve
those
it was
and
into a
forward with our
slog.
designs in Midnight.
So, Relentless on the EU Spanish forums asked a version of
I
the
would like to
question
see
we got
a
lot.
few more puzzles added in,
And,
though.
Ian, what's stopping the World of Warcraft development team from doing a world revamp? Could we get a world revamp?
I mean, I think, you know, the idea of
time, I
revamping
imagine.
everything at once is a terrifying one, frankly. But I think, as touched on earlier, you know, we definitely want to tell new stories in iconic locations, and in doing that, we would certainly do much more than just do a fresh coat of paint on the area. We would really reimagine it and bring it into the present day, as we have with Eversong. Our current focus is, of course, on the story that we're telling for the rest of the World Soul Saga. That will touch on some familiar locations. But down the line, I think the lessons we are learning and the experiences we're having, revisiting some locations, open the door to doing a lot more of it.
Saw a very upvoted question from Solera, a French WoW player on X. Solera asked, without giving away spoilers, very important,
Okay.
does Midnight introduce any completely new elven tribes or expand on lesser known ones?
That would be a massive...
Kelderai.
Without spoilers.
Without spoilers.
That's a spoil.
That's a tough constraint.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's right.
How else are you supposed to answer
I
that?
don't
What?
think it's spoilery to say we're going to be learning a lot about the elves and the elves' relationships with one another, and that would include Quel'Drai.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to deal with high elves.
Soros
Got
on
it.
The EU Spanish forums asked, with the Devourer specialization, all Demon Hunter abilities will use void effects and icons, even those shared by all three specializations. Has there been any consideration of extending this aesthetic customization to other classes?
So I think
Could have sworn they addressed that.
narratively. What
So
a
for like the
void
overworld
represents,
stuff,
Devourer
pretty much what they're saying is if we
represents,
go back to a
he's
part of the
the
old
one
world
who,
as a major
rather
focus,
than
we'll
harnessing
revamp
and
it.
channeling fell
Which
energy,
tells me if they're going to
he's
do an expansion where we go
channeling
back to like
void energy
Kalimdor and the
turning
Eastern
against
Kingdoms,
those who originally wielded it.
then we get the
So
old
that
world
is going
revamp
to
there.
transform a wide range of their abilities. On the other hand, when we look at, let's say, a fire mage or a frost mage, they're not forsaking the arcane when they become a fire mage. And so Blink is still an arcane spell, and Counterspell is still an arcane spell, and so forth. And so I think when we look at other classes, we generally like to look at that broad base of multiple.
Yeah, I like having
areas of
some
focus, and just
abilities
because you
like
specialize in
maintained
one thing
throughout the
doesn't mean
specs.
that transforms all
You
of
need
the
to have
others.
that class
With
identity,
that
not just
said,
spec
touching on some
identity, in my
earlier
opinion.
questions when it comes to glyph spell customizations and other things that players may want to customize the look and feel of their abilities, there's always an opportunity there.
Another highly upvoted question all over the place. I'll take the version of this question from Navarel on the EU German forums. Would you consider replacing the ready-made group in follower dungeons with characters from the player's warband?
Definitely something we are considering. Not something we're going to be able to deliver for Midnight, but ever since the introduction of both warbands and follower dungeons,
That feels like a
this
natural,
request has popped up.
a
Something
natural
that we're
step in
excited
the
about
evolution of that
internally as
mechanic.
well. There's some technical hurdles to kind of pull that information down in real time and make it work, but it's something we do want to deliver down the line.
Ian's not lying about technical hurdles. There were multiple technical hurdles in the way. We're actually jumping over one of them with Training Grounds, where we're changing the way that some of those game-controlled characters or bots are built to be building Training Grounds in this way gets us one hurdle closer to being able to do what you're asking for.
There are so many people on this development team that I would call technical hurdlers. Engineers, that's just what they do. They jump over hurdles. So, Maria, Silo on the WoW forums asked, will there be new mini-game type quests in Midnight?
Yes, there will be. We
Good.
actually have a new mechanic that was created for Zulaman specifically, where you will do some, underwater stuff, but it's quite fun. It's the Amani Abyss style. You're gonna be going fish and troll style.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna go noodling?
Yeah. We're revealing things. Musselton on the WoW forums asked, I'm extremely excited for the Heronir. Can you share more information on their druid forms?
Back to work here. Take care, Soul. Thanks for tuning
If
in.
you watched the deep dive, you saw a flash of those. Fundamentally, they all have quills to throw back to sort of the Heronir, but the tank form is a pangolin bear with sort of bat-like ears.
They all sort of got those ears.
Yeah, they
right?
got the ears and the quills, and we have a wolverine for our feral spec.
I didn't even realize it was a Wolverine.
Owl-like,
Okay, that's cool.
Quilled owl-like sort of boomkin. But best of all has got to be the swimming form, the swimming travel form, which is an axolotl.
Axolotl.
With quills.
We're all going to learn how to say axolotl.
Yeah, I probably said it wrong, but yeah.
I know
We
I
already
said
know how to say it for
right.
Minecraft. Don't worry, dude. We got it.
The reveal of the Heronir led to a very common question. And a version of that question that I want to ask
I like
you
the
came
fact we
from
were teased with the
Raptor
Haranir in the
on
War
Reddit.
Within. We got introduced to
Can
them,
you
and now we're like
explain the
fully
decision-making process
ingratiating
for
ourselves
which
with them in
races to
Midnight.
make playable races.
Yeah. A lot of this comes down to narrative. There's no secret that we started talking to the Heronir in the War Within. And
Yeah,
this was,
I like
not
the
a
feeling of
coincidence
the
that we wanted to build
interconnectivity between the
familiarity
expansions with
Arena,
that.
with her crew, so you'd understand who these characters are when they do eventually become playable characters, as we've added them in Midnight. And of course, Midnight is part of a 3-chapter saga. We're in the middle chapter now. The Heronir are going to be a big, important part of this story, and this is why we chose to fold them in.
I feel bad often being the bearer of bad news in these conversations, but I know that it's not lost on us that there are widespread requests from players who would love to be a Sethrak or an Ethereal or the like. And
Yeah,
part
good luck
of
getting
the
gear
question
on them.
there is, as Paul said, narratively,
Besides
does it make
Ethereal.
sense for this faction to really join the Alliance and Horde if there's if they're cosmic, extraplanar, or more neutral by nature. But the reality of it is also, from a production perspective, one of the things we grapple with is that adding a brand new race to World of Warcraft is one of the most development-intensive things we can do.
I
not
prefer
just in one-time
keeping the
time
aesthetic in
commitment,
line.
but also in the
It's like
long-term
Ethereals
carrying
would be
cost for
cool,
every set
but
of
my
armor we ever
god,
made
they would
for
also
years and
be
years to
very
follow.
weird
And it's something
aesthetically
that
for
we have
either
to weigh
faction.
very, very heavily when we do.
It's like they could work, but
building a race
I still
that
think it's
uses
important to
or
maintain
shares
that
an
fantasy
existing
element
rig,
when
an
it comes to like the
existing
Alliance and the Horde.
if it's an elven race or the like, makes that more straightforward. Again, that's not to say we're never going to add
Also, more
very
people play the
novel or
Elven one,
meaningfully
so they
different
have like a
races
higher
down the
incentive to
line,
do it.
but it's a very high bar for us to clear when we look at how much ultimately it's going to mean that we have to do less of in other places forever.
Yeah,
in
they
order to
probably put so
support
many resources
this
into
additional
Elven and
race
then no one
alongside the
played them.
others.
As I've said to you before, I want Saberon. I will wait. I will be patient. Please give me Saberon. So, Massive Bear on the WoW forums asked, will Heronir be unlockable?
Saberon
in
should
the
just be like an
3
optional
days of
feral
early
form.
access? I remember Earthen were not.
No, not during the first 3 days. So during that early access, we want to make sure that we're letting players who are in that early access be able to play through the campaign and understand what's going on, but not getting any meaningful jumps ahead of anyone else who does not have that early access.
I like their armor sets.
Meredith on the WoW forums asked, how is Blizzard progressing in the war against toxicity in terms of the entire game?
Man, shut up.
Yeah, this is something that's a huge focus for us, and really, there's many facets.
Nah, we need
to
like
the
some
question
changes
of
for like
discussion.
group finder
I
and
think
stuff
when
like that.
People say toxicity. There's a few different.
I don't care about someone
meanings,
saying like a
perhaps,
mean
things
word
that
or
they're
something. I
referring
care
to.
more about
Some of it
can we
is
find
just
a
the
way to more
overt,
consistently get like pugging
hostile,
groups
harmful,
to the end of the
antagonistic
instance
interactions that may occur online between players. We're always continuing to shore up our
without
reporting
like,
tools, improve
oh,
real-time
no one knows how to
monitoring,
do this one
and
mechanic, so
get to a
everyone just
place
like
where
gives
people who
up
are
after like the first
disrupting our
pack or
game
like the
world
first boss
can
is
be
like, oh my
punished,
god.
ultimately removed from it if they continue to do that. On the other hand, though, I think sometimes when people talk about a community or a portion of the game feeling toxic, that can arise from just mismatched expectations. Like, if I am listing a group and I'm trying to run a raid, and I have done that raid 12 times, and I have been through groups that have wiped and learned the encounters, it's reasonable for me as a leader of a pug to only want players who have a certain level of experience, who have also been through those learning wipes and can
Correct.
succeed quickly. And so someone who is looking to learn may feel like, oh,
You
this
need
is
to
very
give an
unwelcoming, this is
incentive
kind of
for learning
toxic,
parties to
why
form,
aren't
though.
we-
That's my
why
thing.
am I not welcome here? And ultimately, that's an issue of aligning expectations. And I think there's a lot more that we can do on the pro-social side of things to help people find like-minded players and like-minded groups.
Yeah, this I
There's
agree
nothing
with them
wrong with
entirely.
wanting to complete something quickly and efficiently. There's also
You have to
very
find a
certainly
way
something
to allow
about
people that want to
wanting
learn
and
a
wanting
piece of
engagement with
content
the
to
group.
gather
You know, if you
together
mix those
to
two groups,
engage with
there
that
are gonna be some
expectation
conflicts
that they are
emerge
going to
naturally
wipe, that they're
because of
going to
different
try
roles
and
and
struggle with it.
expectations. So I think a lot of what we're focused on right now is also how we can help players better connect with like-minded individuals so that they can have satisfying experiences where everyone is on the same
Yeah, I
page,
think this is one of the
working towards
bigger
same goal.
existential problems WoW needs to address. I'm glad they're talking about it.
I want to rip through some more housing questions.
I'm glad they
We've got
took the
several.
conversation to there.
Will we get to see our alts walking about, or maybe sitting in a chair in our house? Paul.
Yeah, this is, we're looking at a lot of the same technical hurdles we talked about earlier, not only with...
Yeah,
being
so
able
there
to
must
show
be like
players
something in the
other
code
players
when
in
it
the
comes
game,
to
but
like
also
reading
what
multiple of your
happens,
characters in
you
at
mentioned
once.
when it comes to
That's
being
just like
able to
really
have
annoying to solve. That's my
your,
bet.
Pets moving around and mouse moving around and whatnot. So not planned yet, but something we do talk about.
I wonder if they have like
Potential for the future.
inventories and all that like
I'll take
tied
this
to
moment
each
say
of the
that,
character
housing is
models
one of
themselves or
those
something.
features
So
which
like
is
if they're
really
trying to like
exciting for
read
us
in another
because
character,
there
it
are
also
so
loads
many
in
cool
all that
ways for it to
information.
grow
So
as
they're
we
just like,
build
how do we make sure
Midnight
this game's
and
not
sharing
like a
housing
lag
for the first
fest
time.
even more than
We're
it
gonna be
already
looking
is?
to you to tell us, what do you want? Is it that we want to see our house? Do we want more features? Do we want more decor? Do we want more ways that I can style the interior, exterior of my house? So let us know as you continue playing.
Yeah, I mean, philosophically, with a feature the size of housing, this is something we've been working on for a very long time to really deliver what players have been expecting and what they deserve. But there comes a point when we're developing, especially a social feature, where we're almost hesitant to take it too far until we can actually share it with the community and understand what people are into, what they're maybe not into so much, what they want more of, what they don't need more of, to make sure that we're really putting our time and our resources in the places that are going to maximize that value for players. And so we're so excited to see people jump in the months ahead in alpha and beta, of course, and then beginning this December on the live servers and see where it goes from there.
So here's a very specific question from Alastril on the WoW forums. For housing and professions, it was stated that professions through all expansions will be able to craft housing items. Will we be able to use this as a skill catch-up for the past expansions? For example, could a leather worker start at Wrath Leatherworking Skill 1 and craft Wrath-themed housing items to get all the way to level 75?
Okay.
We have skill ups for sure. Yeah. I don't know how many of them will be available at level 1, for example. They may be tuned based on how elaborate the piece of decor is, but in general, yeah, once you get the level that you're able to build these things, then you continue to use them to level up.
So many very specific requests. I want to just give you this one. It comes from Spera on the WoW forums. Is it possible to add a functional bookshelf to player housing that could store and display collected in-game books? I have a lot of those.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. That once you share housing with the world, then 1,000 cool ideas come out, and so we will start gathering up all these cool ideas and say, what can we do next? I can confirm there will be bookshelves. Whether those bookshelves will be functional, no, not at least to start. But this is a really cool idea for a collection that we're gonna, take back to the team.
Yeah, that would be cool to have as well.
And,
just be able to make a
couple more.
library of all the in-game lore, and you just go to your own house to read it. That'd be nice.
What is the minimum player limit for a private or guild neighborhood? What happens if you make a private neighborhood with the minimum amount of people, and then some of them go away?
So this is something that's still a bit in flux. I think our current thinking is that just like signing a guild charter, you'll need 10 players to charter a private neighborhood. And that's for a couple of reasons. Part of it is, in order for
space, that's why
endeavors to really function optimally, there's a certain number of players that are going to be expected to really drive the system. But also a piece of it is just server performance. Using an extreme example, if literally every single player online had their own personal neighborhoods, that would be potentially millions of simultaneous entire districts that need to get spun up, trying to make sure the servers don't melt here. And so striking a balance between what's going to be a good social experience, but also recognizing that players have friend groups of various sizes, and we want to be as flexible as possible. I think if we're able to lower that number from where we're starting, it's something we would aim to do as we see how the tech side of it.
Oh my god, Wowhead has like the talent
trees
trees up.
On Reddit from
the Apex talent for Frost DK is crazy.
And this is a question I have myself.
Fairly a trustworthy fellow.
Very much. Will there be a list of collections and their sources for housing materials?
Frostworm's Fury does
before housing goes
100%
live,
increased damage
so
to the
that we
first
can
enemy it
begin
hits
to
and
start
grants you
hunting for those
15%
items,
haste for 12
maybe
seconds.
reputation,
You
achievement
upgrade that as
requirements?
well
I'd love to know what
to
I
grant
already
you runic
have
power,
I'm close to
and
housing.
recalling it
A ton of
grants
that is going to be visible in the
1 or
alpha
2
build
killing
coming up
machine
in just a
stacks.
day.
And
We'll
then
go
another
on
stack of
summarizing
the
it so you don't need
talent.
to, go trawling for the information.
Frostworm's Fury does
and that
100%
way everyone
increased
can get a head
damage
start
after the
on checking off those
Frostworm
achievements
flies
that
away. You may
they've missed.
recall, cast Frostworm's Fury
Let's,
again to
let's
recall
come
it at
back to
50%
a couple of fun
effectiveness.
questions
So you
before
just have to
we go
check and
here.
go like, boom, boom.
Bale Samel on the WoW forums
That's
asked,
sick.
Are we getting a capybara, Loa? There are capybaras in the Yamani screenshots. The people yearn for a capybara, Loa.
No, we don't.
Well, conveniently, there is one. His name is Philo, the capybara Loa of
Okay, now I
Chile.
fiend from.
Oh, nice. And I hope he has a prominent headdress.
Absolutely, and a glorious necklace.
That's perfect. Loa's should be very well outfitted, I think. Finnerfin on the WoW forums asked, could we see the return of class quest lines? Legion
Oh my
was
god,
great,
please.
And it was fun to have a unique experience questing on alts.
Yeah, class quest lines come up really often as something people are excited about. We certainly do want to look more at.
I think right now they're just
expanding
focused on like
classes.
telling a
We had lot
coherent
of
story
fun,
for the A
doing the
plot.
Warlock one, for example, not too long ago. But most recently, the best way for you to play some class quest lines, if you never played them, has to do with our lore walking, because where we had restrictions, for example, on the Xalatath story, previously, a lot of people didn't know anything about Xalatath and the knife, and by playing that lore walking, they had the opportunity to play that portion of the priest quest line. So
I really
we're
hope
hoping that, as
they
we build more lore
properly
walking, you'll
invest
have
in
that
lore walking. I
opportunity
know
to
they
see
said
some
they're
of
going
that,
to do
this is
more with
certainly
it
an
in
area
Midnight,
that
but like I
Quest
think
and
they need to
narrative
do a
team
lot
would be
more.
thrilled to do more.
Have like those things updated like every patch with a
That's our
new
last
one or
question.
two.
And I cobbled this together from versions of this question that I found everywhere. I want to give a shout out to some of the people that I borrowed this from. Aziriel, Simplejack, Martian, Zuburius on our forums.
At least when it's
all asked
needed.
versions of this. Ian, how will player power progression be updated in Midnight, especially regarding Valor Stones?
Just
So the way
remove
the
Valor
upgrade system's
Stones.
played out over the last couple of expansions. I think we're happy with the sort of granular incremental progression that complements that spiky randomness of loot drops. But there is, and we agree with player feedback that we've heard, potentially one too many moving pieces and a bit too much complexity in the current system. So I can announce that Valor Stones as a currency will be going away in Midnight.
Thank God!
You're already needing to gather the crests that you need, and that should be sufficient. We're also looking to streamline the system a little bit and more clearly pair individual crest tiers with appropriate.
Oh my
tier
god,
upgrade
thank
tracks.
Christ, getting
So
rid of
there's
Valor
going to be less
Stones. They're the most
confusion about what
useless
crest
system in
matches
all of the War Within.
Anything further, Paul?
No, I think that's great. Yeah, yeah. Super excited.
We're over here pumping fists.
Yes, absolutely.
Very excited.
Rip Valor Stones.
Yeah,
Well,
rest in piss.
That-
That should be like the mainline
our
announcement for
Thank
for
you,
Midnight.
Ian, Paul,
Would have
Maria.
doubled the
Thank
subscription
you for
number.
taking the time, and thank you to everyone watching along. We've got Midnight alpha testing.
Okay, we got some
starting
interesting
very soon.
interesting
We can't wait
answers
to
there.
see you
Quite a
there.
few deflections, not gonna lie. The deep dive was very good. I'm glad they did this because, like I said, the Gamescom announcement was like so scuffed. Yeah, you can see people reacting to the Valor Stone change. No one liked that fucking system. It was the worst system, and not the worst one. That's a high bar for WoW. But like, my God, Valor Stones were so ass. I'm so glad they're like not doing them. Okay. Before we go, I just want to do the trading post real quick. Want to get the new stuff. Yeah, quite a few good changes in Midnight. Removal of Valor Stones, add-on battle API going away. The new open world zone, Slayer's Rise for PvP. PvP actually sounds kind of interesting. They're doing a lot of interesting things. I like it a lot.
Welcome to the trading post.
Alright.
Here to
Give me this shit. Add it to the cart. Add it to the cart. Oh, this set's good too, though. Add it to the cart. Don't care. Add it to the cart. Add it to the cart. God, my cart's gonna be so expensive this go around. Add to the cart. Add. Oh, add. Oh, those are sick. Add those two. Don't know if I need that. Don't care about a wand. No, 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 no. Ooh. Oh, the hand mount? Oh, my... What am I benching? I think I removed that. Alright, I'm dumping a bunch of tender on this. There's so many good cosmetics here. Give me all of that. I might need to save up for this hand mount. I don't know, I kind of want this as well. I might save up to get that. F it, I'm getting the bulwark. F it. I got so much shit, oh my god. Oh, I've been wanting a horse like this. Please let it fly. It does, thank Christ. Okay, there we go. That is such a nice horse. Alright, I need to see the full set. Ooh, the cowl, though? Oh, I like that a lot, though. Oh, I like that. Yes, dude. I might put Primal Fire on it. Oh, that is nice. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Alright, what about that other set? God, that on a rogue's gonna look so good. Alright, I'm satisfied with that. No, I don't want the fucking... Oh my god, please. It keeps trying to put this fugly enchant on. Get it off. Thank you. Oh, dude! Oh my god, please. Why am I having so much trouble with this? This, save. Please. Thank you. Oh my god. That should not have been as hard as it was. And to... A happy Halloween to you all, and to all a good fright. Alright, I'm gonna call the stream there for right now, at least. I have a video to make, I have food to eat, so thank you all for tuning in. Stay safe, have a great day. Thank you, Soul Crimson, Estecana, welcome all. Thank you all for tuning in. Stay safe, have a great day. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody, until we meet again.